This week in Grace's Girls Club, we are heading over to one of my favorite places in North Alabama, over to the Shoals. We're heading over to Florence. I want you to meet a very special guest today. Welcome so much to Grace's Girls Club. We're so glad you're here. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us your title, and I kind of just gave it away, but where you work.
Okay, my name is Chasity Parker, and I'm the Assistant Director for the Alabama Math, Science, and Technology Initiative, or what we call AMSTI, at the University of North Alabama.
Which has a lot underneath it, right? You're kind of the umbrella role that has a lot underneath it. Walk me through a little bit your day-to-day.
So, AMSTI is part of the Alabama State Department of Education's effort to improve math and science teaching across the state. And so we have 11 regional sites that are located across major universities throughout the state. So, just a little bit about my background. Before becoming a full-time employee at AMSTI, I was actually an elementary teacher, second grade teacher for 14 years. And then I started part-time with AMSTI as a science and math trainer, where I helped deliver professional learning to teachers in the state. Then in 2020, I became a full-time AMSTI employee for AMSTI UNA. And in that role, I was a math specialist, and I supported math teachers across the state, and particularly in Region 1, which is the UNA region. In 2023, I became the assistant director for AMSTI UNA, and so that's where I am now. My days are pretty varied. No day's really ever the same. I organize and facilitate professional learning. I work closely with educators, principals, district leaders to make sure that their professional learning needs are met in math and science. Also make sure that coaches and teachers have the support and the resources that they need for quality STEM education. I spend a lot of time supporting math and science specialists who work with those teachers and coaches directly. Also, part of my time is spent monitoring a technology platform that supports specialists and coaches in our region. And obviously the day-to-day ins and outs of operations to make sure everything aligns with statewide goals.
Absolutely. So give me some examples. Let's say I was a teacher at UNA and I'm teaching differential equations, Cal 3, some type of upper level class. What might be a way that I would come to you for support?
So we primarily support K-12
Okay.
educators. So we don't do too much with the university at the university level. It's more geared toward K-12 teachers.
Okay. And what might be some of the assistance you provide there?
So now that there is a numeracy law in the state of Alabama, we work really closely with the Office of Mathematics Improvement. So that's a big part of what we do in our day-to-day, although we support all of K-12 math and science teachers in the region. But teachers that want professional learning in math or science, we provide that. We also provide materials for science and math teachers so that students are getting the hands-on learning that is such a huge part of STEM. So they come to us for all of those needs.
Absolutely. What was it that got you so excited about this role? You shared a little bit about your teaching background, so I'm sure, from educating students to now educating teachers and other educators, I'm sure that was the gap. But what was it that really made you want to jump into this role specifically?
Well, I attended a science training in 2016 that really reignited my love for science. I'd even considered being a biology teacher at one time in my life. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. So that really reignited a fire under me in the classroom. And then the following summer, I attended a math training called OGAP, which was instrumental in my classroom. It was really transformative. Math had never come easily to me as a student, but that training helped me understand it conceptually for the first time. So it inspired me to teach students in a way that helped them to build real understanding in mathematics. So that experience also lit a fire in me, and I wanted to share what I had learned with other teachers. And so coming to AMSTI helped me to be able to share that learning with other teachers in my region and across the state. So I really just wanted to come to AMSTI because I wanted to reach a broader audience and teach them things that I had not known as a classroom teacher, but that I had learned. And I just wanted to share that with others.
It's almost like when, when pastors say, like, I feel like I have a word for the congregation. There's something that I feel like I need to tell you. It's almost like that. You felt like something was placed on your heart with the intent of sharing it in a pretty vast way.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was just so instrumental in the classroom for me. I had to share that with other teachers.
Wow, I love that passion. That is so great. So let's say I'm at home, I'm a young girl watching, and I think, well, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to do when I grow up. Walk me through educationally how you got to where you are today. And then, aside from being involved in your program, what educational advice you might have for the next generation.
So I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in elementary education. Plus, I have an education specialist degree in teacher leadership. So altogether, I spent about 6 years, I guess, in formal education, not including like ongoing professional development that really never stops in this field. STEM education is always changing.
Yeah.
So, continuous learning is a part of what makes it exciting. And because STEM education is constantly changing, that continued learning, is really necessary to stay ahead of the game and to remain effective in this line of work. I will say that, somebody that wants to pursue this would be, somebody that has that classroom experience, but also has some leadership skills and just a real desire to improve STEM education in our state. If you love empowering teachers and you love empowering students, this would be a great fit for you. I did not think going into education that I would ever end up here and really be an advocate for STEM in the state of Alabama, but because of my experiences, it has led me to this position, and I'm so thankful and glad that it did.
Wow, that's great. And you know what? You touched on something that I feel like it never came up in Gracious Girls Club, and now probably within the last 5, 6 months, it's almost constant, is the power of reinventing yourself. And I was just talking with someone last week about, think of these decades-long successful musicians, that they don't have the same sound for 50 years. Every 10 years or so, they change their sound, their instruments, their music, their lyric, whatever. These are the people that have careers for their whole lives. And we were saying we often feel like women in the workplace are much the same. And the people that are able to embrace reinventing themselves are the ones that have continued vocational success.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's almost like in the classroom I had gotten I'm not really sure what the word would be, complacent in my teaching, and just going to these trainings really just sparked my desire for learning again and for wanting to do what was best for kids. And I think sometimes as educators, we can all get into that slump where we're just complacent and we're good with just the day to day until something like this sparks us to do something different and to reignite that fire. And that's really what happened to me.
Yeah. And it sounds like you kind of got hit too with, we still have a long way to go. Let me see what I can do to help with that.
Absolutely, absolutely. With all the things AI these days, I think about all the AI and the robotics that has been, just a huge part of our world in the last, I don't know what, 5 years or so.
Yeah.
That it's STEM education is just more and more important.
It's so true. It's so true. So, and you may feel you've already answered this. Let me know if you have, with kind of what you said, all those things that kept reigniting the fire. But what is the best part of your job?
So, well, there are a few things that are best parts of my job. One of the best parts of my job is seeing teachers grow in their knowledge and their confidence in teaching math and science, and then watching how that positively impacts their students. Knowing that the support that AMSTI provides transforms instruction, especially in those STEM subjects. It can sometimes be intimidating, but that reminds me of why our work is so important. Also, like that STEM isn't just content, it's about problem solving, it's about curiosity, it's about inquiry. And it's just exciting to know that we're helping create classrooms where students thrive in subjects that's going to be so important for their futures. And also, I have a fantastic team of people that I work with, the math and science specialists and the materials staff at our site. We all have the same mission, and they're all as committed as I am. We're all focused on the same goal, which is improving STEM in our region and across our state. And so every student has access to quality learning no matter where they go to school.
I just got chills a little bit when you said that. That's honestly making me a little bit emotional. That is so true. It's so true. I saw a quote the other day and it said, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, fill in X, you have a teacher to thank for that. And it's so true. I mean, that really is the foundation of everything. So like you said, making sure these kids have access to quality education in a way that can change their lives, that's how you have generational impact.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So one last question for you before I let you go. I want you, and I know you'll have a great answer for this one, I want you to tell me if you had a message to young girls or just in general, young students who wanted to be involved in the STEM workforce one day, what would your message to them be?
So I guess my message is really simple. You absolutely belong in STEM. Your curiosity, whether you're a female or a male, your curiosity, your creativity, and your ideas matter, and the world needs them. STEM just isn't just about being a scientist or an engineer. And sometimes I think we relate STEM to only those fields. There are so many exciting careers in education for STEM. Being a math or science teacher, a robotics instructor, a STEM coach, a technology specialist, those are just a few. And like I said earlier, with the fast growing fields like AI and robotics, the future holds incredible opportunities for young girls and women who want to lead and to innovate. It's just the way of the future. And young women are more than capable of stepping into those roles and making a powerful impact. And we need brave and intelligent young women to help lead the way in STEM.
We absolutely do. I will second that. Well, Chastity, thank you so much for being here. Welcome officially to Grace's Girls Club.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, have a great day.
You too.